Welcome to Zukkun Knows. The rise of artificial intelligence in the world of art is one of the most polarizing and fascinating developments of the 21st century. It challenges our understanding of creativity, authorship, and the very essence of what it means to be an artist. But before we dive into whether AI will replace human artists, we must first understand what's really going on beneath the surface. In the past, creativity was thought to be uniquely human, a spark of consciousness, emotion, and lived experience. Painters poured their memories into brushstrokes, writers shaped their souls into prose, and musicians turned feeling into rhythm. But with AI generating breathtaking visual art, composing symphonies, and even writing poetry, the line between human and machine creation begins to blur. AI models like DALL-E and Midjourney don't understand beauty or emotion. They interpret mathematical relationships between words and images based on enormous datasets. When prompted with a futuristic cityscape at sunset, they recall billions of examples and predict the most likely combination of pixels. This isn't imagination, it's statistical reconstruction, and yet the results often look like masterpieces. This is why some artists feel threatened. For centuries, art has been a domain of human expression. Now, clients, companies, and even individual consumers can generate illustrations or concept designs in seconds, free or at minimal cost. What once took an artist days of labor can now be done in moments with a keyboard and a few clever words. But is this really a death sentence for artists? Or is it an evolution of the tools they use? To answer that, we need to look back. When photography was invented, many believed it would kill painting. After all, why paint a portrait when a camera can capture it in an instant? But instead of ending art, photography expanded it. Artists explored abstraction, emotion, and symbolism in ways realism never allowed. The camera became just another tool. The same may be true of AI. Many artists today embrace these technologies. They use AI for brainstorming, rapid prototyping, and even overcoming creative blocks. Some use it to generate textures, compositions, or lighting references. Others push the boundaries by collaborating with AI, feeding it personal inputs and curating its outputs, creating a hybrid between man and machine. Still, there are deep concerns. One of the loudest is the ethical dilemma of AI training. Most AI art generators were trained on publicly available images scraped from the internet. That includes the work of working artists, often without their consent. This has led to lawsuits, protests, and new platforms where artists can opt out of AI training datasets. The legal system hasn't kept up. Who owns an AI-generated image? Is it the person who typed the prompt, the company that built the model, or no one at all? In some countries, copyright only applies to works made by humans. That leaves AI creations in a gray area, legally and morally. But perhaps the biggest question is, can AI truly be creative? Creativity isn't just novelty, it's intent, context, and emotion. It's a reflection of experience and identity. And AI doesn't miss someone and paint a portrait to remember them. It doesn't witness injustice and create protest art. It doesn't fall in love and write a song about it. AI outputs may be aesthetically impressive, but they lack soul. And yet, humans can still be moved by AI-generated art. If an image brings tears to your eyes, does it matter who or what made it? Some argue that the artist is no longer the sole creator, but the curator. In this view, the human becomes the composer of prompts, the guide who shapes AI's raw power into emotional resonance. Just as a conductor doesn't play every instrument, the modern artist may not create every pixel, but they orchestrate the vision. Education is adapting. Design schools now teach prompt engineering alongside traditional drawing. Students learn to collaborate with AI as they would with Photoshop or a tablet. The focus shifts from execution to vision. Still, not everyone welcomes this shift. For many, art is a deeply personal craft. Reducing it to algorithmic output feels hollow, even disrespectful. It risks commodifying creativity, turning it into a cheap, mass-produced product. The market is already seeing saturation. Stock image sites are flooded with AI art. Social media overflows with generated portraits and concept designs. The uniqueness of art, a key reason it holds value, is being diluted. In response, some collectors and galleries now emphasize human-made labels, treating them like artisan badges. This mirrors trends in other industries. As automation increases, the value of the handcrafted rises. In food, we pay more for handmade pasta. In fashion, we cherish custom tailoring. In music, vinyl has made a comeback. The same may happen in art. The more machines create, the more we seek authenticity. So what lies ahead? In 10 years, AI will be more powerful, more accessible, and more creative seeming than ever. But human artists won't vanish. They will evolve. Just as DJs didn't destroy live musicians and digital cameras didn't eliminate painters, AI will become part of the creative ecosystem. We may see new art forms emerge: AI theater, hybrid storytelling, interactive installations that change in real time based on viewer emotion. Artists will explore what AI can't do, convey trauma, joy, and identity through lived experience. Ultimately, art is not just about the final product. It's about the story behind it, the process, and the person. As long as humans have something to say, art will remain a human endeavor. So the real question isn't, will AI replace artists? It's, how will artists use AI to push creativity to new heights? Thanks for joining us on Zukkun Knows. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep creating. Welcome to Zukkun Knows. Today we explore the top 10 animals that shouldn't exist. From immortal microorganisms to creatures that break the rules of evolution, each of these species challenges what we think we know about nature. 1. Axolotl. The axolotl, a neotenic salamander, remains in its juvenile state throughout its life. Native to Mexico, this amphibian can regenerate entire limbs, spinal cords, even portions of its brain. Scientists are studying axolotls for regenerative medicine. Despite their incredible abilities, axolotls are critically endangered in the wild due to pollution and habitat loss. 2. Tardigrade. Known as water bears, tardigrades can survive in outer space, boiling temperatures, freezing cold, and radiation. These microscopic organisms enter a cryptobiotic state to survive the most extreme conditions. Some studies show they can live for decades without water. Their DNA repair mechanisms fascinate biologists looking into resilience and survival. 3. Naked mole rat. This wrinkly rodent defies the laws of mammalian biology. It feels no pain from acid or capsaicin, has a highly organized eusocial structure like ants, and shows strong resistance to cancer. Even under low oxygen conditions, it survives remarkably well. Its longevity and disease resistance make it a medical marvel. 4. Blobfish. Often dubbed the world's ugliest animal, the blobfish lives at depths where pressure is over 100 times greater than at sea level. Its gelatinous structure allows it to float without expending energy. Once brought to the surface, its body collapses into a formless mass, giving it its infamous appearance. 5. Star-nosed mole. With 22 fleshy appendages on its nose, the star-nosed mole can detect and eat prey in under 120 milliseconds. It uses its nose like a high-speed sensor array, making it one of the fastest foragers in the animal kingdom. 6. Glass frog. Glass frogs have translucent skin through which their internal organs are visible. Found in Central and South America, these amphibians use their see-through bellies as camouflage against predators, blending seamlessly into their leafy habitats. 7. Deep-sea amphipod. Living in the deepest parts of the ocean, these amphipods withstand extreme pressure and feast on marine snow, organic particles falling from above. They've even been found with plastic microdebris in their guts, showing human impact reaches even the ocean's trenches. 8. Yeti. Crab discovered near hydrothermal vents. Yeti crabs are covered in hair-like bristles. These bristles cultivate bacteria, which the crab feeds on. Its unique symbiosis and habitat in scalding water defy expectations of crustacean biology. 9. Immortal jellyfish. Turritopsis dohrnii, dubbed the immortal jellyfish, can revert its cells back to an earlier life stage, effectively resetting its life cycle. While not truly immortal in natural settings, this biological trick is unique among multicellular animals. 10. Platypus. This Australian monotreme lays eggs, produces venom, and has electroreception, all traits that seem mismatched for one species. When it was first discovered, scientists thought it was a hoax. Even today, the platypus remains one of evolution's strangest success stories. Thank you for watching Zukkun Knows. Which of these animals surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing discoveries every single day. Welcome to Zukkun Knows. From humanoid androids with lifeless eyes to autonomous killing machines, the world of robotics has produced creations that walk the fine line between fascinating and frightening. Today, we're diving into the eerie side of technology. Machines so unsettling, they raise questions about the future of human-AI interaction, ethics, and even our own place in the world. Let's explore 10 of the creepiest robots ever built, and the chilling stories behind them. 1. Ameca, the ultra-realistic android. Ameca is not just another humanoid robot. It's a glimpse into a future where machines could convincingly mimic humans. Developed by Engineered Arts, Ameca features 17 individually actuated facial motors, allowing it to smile, frown, and even react to human expressions in real time. Its ultra-fluid movements and skin-like silicon face are intended to improve human-robot communication, but for many, the experience feels more like looking into the eyes of something soulless pretending to be sentient. People have described the interaction as creepy calm, and videos of Ameca reacting to humans have racked up millions of views, many of them posted with shocked emojis. 2. Boston Dynamics Big Dog. Originally created for the US military's DARPA program, Big Dog was designed to carry heavy loads across rugged terrain. Its animal-like movements are powered by advanced hydraulic actuators, making it capable of navigating environments that would challenge humans. But what really unsettles people is watching Big Dog regain balance when pushed or kicked. It looks like a creature in pain, refusing to fall. The lifeless metallic body paired with animalistic reflexes creates a disturbing contrast that blurs the line between synthetic and organic. 3. CB2. The creepy baby robot CB2, short for child robot with biomimetic body, was developed by Osaka University to study infant cognitive development. It has soft skin, wide eyes, and slow, deliberate movements. But while the intent is innocent, helping researchers understand how babies learn, the result is deeply unnerving. Watching CB2 slowly reach out to touch things or blink its milky eyes is like witnessing a horror movie doll come to life. It's not just its appearance, but its silence and stillness between actions that disturb even the scientists who work with it. 4. Sophia, the citizen robot, Hanson Robotics. Sophia became the first robot to be granted citizenship by Saudi Arabia in 2017. While she's often portrayed as a friendly ambassador for AI, Sophia's mechanical voice, unnatural pauses, and ambiguous facial expressions have left audiences feeling uneasy. She's been on talk shows, interviewed world leaders, and even joked about destroying humanity. Though her creators insist it's all scripted, the unease remains. How much of her is controlled, and how much is thinking for herself? 5. EATR, the energy-absorbing robot. The EATR, energetically autonomous tactical robot, is perhaps the most controversial on this list. Developed as a self-sustaining scout robot, it was intended to use organic matter like grass and wood chips for fuel. But when the project was announced, media outlets ran with the horrifying possibility that it could use deceased biological organisms as fuel. Though developers clarified it wouldn't eat humans, the phrase "robot that eats people" stuck in public imagination, fueling endless conspiracy theories and debate. 6. Reply Q1, Android Doppelganger. Another creation out of Japan, Reply Q1 was designed to closely mimic a specific woman's appearance and behavior. Built with flexible silicone skin and dozens of motors for small facial expressions, it was meant to demonstrate how closely robots could match human subtlety. The result, however, is a humanoid with a ghost-like presence, so close to human, yet unmistakably off. Watching it sit still and suddenly blink or turn its head is enough to send chills down the spine. 7. Actroid. The conference host from Hell Actroid is a humanoid robot often used as a receptionist or presenter in exhibitions. It can interact with people through pre-programmed responses and gestures, and it's able to track faces and maintain eye contact. But many visitors report feeling disturbed when it responds a split second too late, or not at all. It's the timing, or lack thereof, that reminds you this isn't a person. That uncanny realization triggers a primal discomfort in viewers. 8. T-52, Enryu, the rescue robot developed in Japan. To aid in disaster response, the T-52 Enryu is a giant, tank-like robot with mechanical arms strong enough to lift rubble or move vehicles. While its purpose is noble, its appearance is menacing. Standing over 3 meters tall and looking like a mech from a dystopian anime, it has become both a symbol of hope and a source of unease. People wonder, what if such machines were turned toward harm rather than help? 9. Robo-Rat, brain-controlled rodents. Scientists inserted electrodes into rats' brains to control their movements via remote. This chilling blend of biology and technology allowed researchers to guide rats through mazes like living RC cars. While the research has potential medical applications, it also raises profound ethical issues. How much control is too much? At what point does enhancing a creature's function become a form of exploitation? 10. Spot. The robot dog with a dark side spot has gone viral multiple times for its unsettlingly fluid movements. Developed by Boston Dynamics, it can walk, climb stairs, and even dance. But the most unnerving footage comes from law enforcement applications. Spot patrolling urban environments, mounted with cameras or even weapons. The headless, expressionless design removes any emotional anchor, turning it into a pure surveillance and enforcement machine. It's not what Spot is, but what it could become that scares people. Thanks for watching Zukkun Knows. Which robot creeped you out the most? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more tech that blurs the line between fiction and reality. Welcome to Zukkun Knows. The universe is vast, ancient, and mind-bendingly strange. While we've mapped planets, studied stars, and sent probes to the edge of the solar system, many parts of space still leave even scientists scratching their heads. Today, we're diving into 10 of the most bizarre, awe-inspiring, and straight-up puzzling discoveries ever made in the cosmos. 1. The Boötes Void. The Boötes Void, also known as the Great Nothing, is one of the largest known voids in the universe. It spans a staggering 330 million light-years in diameter, which is so massive it could fit thousands of Milky Way galaxies. And yet within this enormous volume of space, there is almost nothing, just a few dozen galaxies. Scientists are puzzled. How did such a vast emptiness form in a universe that's supposed to be evenly filled with matter? Some have suggested that the Boötes Void might be a region untouched by galaxy formation or even the result of a collision with another universe. The idea that such a gigantic hole in space could exist challenges our assumptions about the uniformity of cosmic structure and continues to be one of the great mysteries in cosmology. 2. The Metal Planet, TOI 849, b TOI 849b, is a planet discovered by NASA's TESS telescope that's about the size of Neptune, but its density is so high that it's believed to be made almost entirely of metal. Scientists think it may be the exposed core of a gas giant whose outer layers were stripped away. How that stripping happened, through tidal forces, violent collisions, or interactions with its star, is still unclear. But the existence of a metal world challenges conventional models of planetary formation. Studying this planet gives astronomers rare insights into the internal structure of gas giants, offering a glimpse at what lies beneath the thick atmospheres of planets like Jupiter. 3. The Coldest Star, WISE 1828 plus 2650. This brown dwarf is cooler than the human body, just 80 degrees, 27 degrees C. It's what astronomers call a failed star. It had enough mass to begin the process of collapse but never ignited nuclear fusion like a normal star. Its frigid temperature and extremely dim light forced astronomers to re-examine their understanding of stellar classification. Can something that cold still be a star? Apparently, yes. This discovery redefined the lower boundary of what can be considered a star and suggested that many more such objects may be lurking undetected in our galactic neighborhood. 4. The Dark Flow. Clusters of galaxies across the observable universe appear to be drifting in the same direction, toward a specific region of the sky. This movement, dubbed dark flow, defies explanations based on known gravitational forces and cosmic expansion. One hypothesis is that massive structures exist outside our observable universe, pulling everything toward them with gravity. The idea is controversial, but the evidence, detected via measurements of the cosmic microwave background, is difficult to ignore. 5. The Glass Raining Planet, HD 1897333b HD 1897333b, is a gas giant located 64 light-years from Earth. Its atmosphere contains silicate particles, giving the planet its vivid blue color. But those particles also result in sideways rainstorms of molten glass, combined with winds exceeding 5,400 mph or 8,700 km/h. It's one of the most extreme and inhospitable weather systems ever discovered. 6. The Early Monster Black Hole, J1342 plus 0928. This black hole formed just 690 million years after the Big Bang, yet it already had a mass of 800 million suns. The sheer speed at which it grew is a mystery. Our current understanding of black hole growth doesn't account for such massive entities forming so quickly. Its existence suggests that early universe conditions may have allowed for much more rapid black hole evolution. 7. Space Alcohol, Sagittarius B2. Near the center of our galaxy lies Sagittarius B2, a massive cloud of gas and dust containing ethyl alcohol and other organic molecules. It's over 1,000 times the size of our solar system. While you can't get drunk off it, because it also contains toxic compounds, it's proof that the building blocks of life can form in the harsh environment of space. The presence of organic molecules here strengthens theories about life's potential outside Earth. 8. The Cosmic Web. On the largest scale, the universe isn't a random scatter of galaxies. It's a web. This cosmic web consists of galaxy clusters aligned along massive filaments of dark matter and separated by voids. When seen through simulation and observation, it looks eerily like a biological structure. Some compare it to neurons or connective tissue. It's a visual and scientific reminder of the hidden order shaping the universe. 9. Star X9 and its death spiral. Deep within the dense stellar environment of the globular cluster 47 Tucanae, astronomers discovered an extraordinary and terrifying celestial dance. Here, a white dwarf star, designated X9, orbits a black hole with a period of just 28 minutes. This is not only the shortest known orbital period between a star and a black hole, but also one of the most extreme examples of gravitational interaction in our galaxy. To put it into perspective, the Earth takes 365 days to orbit the Sun, Mercury takes 88 days, and even the International Space Station orbits Earth in about 90 minutes. But X9 is completing its death-defying orbit around a black hole in less than half an hour, at velocities that stretch the limits of astrophysical endurance. This incredible closeness comes with a price. The immense gravitational pull of the black hole is exerting intense tidal forces on X9, so powerful that it is gradually stripping the star of its outer layers. Over time, this process may completely unmake the star, pulling it apart atom by atom and feeding its remnants into the black hole's accretion disk. Astronomers believe that this stellar pairing didn't happen by chance. In such crowded environments as globular clusters, gravitational encounters between stars are far more frequent than in calmer galactic neighborhoods. It's likely that the black hole captured X9 during a close encounter, binding it into this deadly gravitational ballet. The system also provides a valuable laboratory for studying extreme physics. X9 emits strong X-ray and radio signals, allowing scientists to observe how matter behaves in the intense space-time curvature near a black hole. It's a rare, real-world example of Einstein's predictions playing out under the most brutal conditions imaginable. Eventually, X9 may cross the event horizon, the point of no return, and vanish forever from the observable universe. Until then, it continues its mad orbit, a cosmic tightrope walker spiraling closer to oblivion, step by perilous step. 10. The Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall. The Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall is, without exaggeration, the largest known structure in the observable universe. Spanning an estimated 10 billion light-years across, it's a cosmic formation so vast that it challenges one of the foundational principles of cosmology itself. This enormous structure is not a single object like a star or a galaxy, but rather a supercluster of galaxies, stretching across a mind-boggling portion of the sky. It was first identified in 2013 when astronomers studying the distribution of gamma-ray bursts, the brightest electromagnetic events in the universe, noticed a peculiar clustering. These gamma-ray bursts, which typically occur when massive stars collapse or neutron stars merge, seem to concentrate in a particular region, revealing the outline of a massive galactic wall. What makes the Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall truly shocking is that it violates the cosmological principle, the assumption that, on large enough scales, the universe is homogeneous and isotropic. According to this principle, no matter where you look in the cosmos, things should average out. But the existence of such an enormous, lopsided structure suggests that the universe might be more clumpy and asymmetric than we previously thought. If the Great Wall is confirmed as a single coherent structure, rather than a statistical anomaly or projection error, it would mean that our current models of structure formation in the universe are incomplete or even flawed. It raises deep questions. How could such a massive formation have come into being so early in the history of the universe? Did gravitational interactions alone pull billions of galaxies into alignment, or is there an unknown mechanism at work? To put its size in perspective, light, traveling at 300,000 kilometers per second, would take over 10 billion years to cross it. That's nearly 3/4 of the universe's entire age. Some scientists even speculate that such structures may not be bound by gravity at all, but instead represent a fossil imprint of ancient conditions, remnants from a time when the universe was far younger and more turbulent. In short, The Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall doesn't just stretch our understanding of space, it breaks the scale. It's a stark reminder that even after centuries of astronomy, the cosmos still holds surprises that dwarf even our wildest theories. Thanks for watching Zukkun Knows. Which of these space anomalies shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more cosmic mysteries every single week. Welcome to Zukkun Knows. Why did Russia invade Ukraine? This isn't just a modern war, it's the result of centuries of tension, shifting borders, collapsed empires, and political ambitions. In this video, we'll unpack the full story, from the fall of the Soviet Union to the invasion of Crimea and the 2022 full-scale war. Let's dive into one of the most important geopolitical conflicts of the 21st century. 1. The Soviet shadow. To understand why Russia invaded Ukraine, we need to go back more than a century, before the Soviet Union even existed. In the 19th century, there was the Russian Empire, a vast Tsarist monarchy stretching from Eastern Europe to the Pacific. Ukraine was part of this empire for centuries. Then in 1917, the Russian Revolution overthrew the Tsar, and a bloody civil war followed. From the ashes of that conflict, the Soviet Union was born in 1922. Led by the Communist Party, it was a federation of 15 republics, with Russia as the dominant force. Ukraine was the second largest republic and played a major role in Soviet industry, agriculture, and culture. But the Soviet system was authoritarian, and Ukrainians suffered heavily, especially during the Holodomor famine in the 1930s, which killed millions. Throughout the Cold War, the USSR stood as America's main rival. But economic stagnation, political unrest, and the disastrous war in Afghanistan weakened the system. When Gorbachev introduced reforms in the 1980s, perestroika and glasnost, it triggered unintended consequences. Nationalist movements grew, and in 1991, the USSR collapsed. Here's what's often forgotten. After the fall of the Soviet Union, Russia didn't disappear. It simply rebranded. The largest and most powerful republic of the USSR, Russia, became the Russian Federation, claiming continuity with both the Soviet legacy and the older Russian Empire. Many Russians, including President Vladimir Putin, never accepted Ukraine's full independence. To them, Ukraine was not a separate nation, but a lost piece of Russian history. First part of the empire, then the Soviet family. That belief still fuels Russia's actions today. 2. NATO's eastward expansion. To understand Russia's fears, we first need to understand NATO. NATO stands for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It was formed in 1949 during the early Cold War as a military alliance between the United States, Canada, and several Western European nations. Its core principle is collective defense. If one member is attacked, all others will defend them. NATO was created specifically to counter the threat of Soviet expansion in Europe. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, many believed NATO might fade away. But instead it grew. Former Soviet-controlled countries like Poland, Hungary, and the Baltic states were eager to join. Why? Because they feared Russia. These nations saw NATO as a guarantee of protection against future aggression. To Russia, this expansion felt like betrayal. Western leaders had allegedly hinted, though never officially promised, that NATO wouldn't move 1 inch eastward. But over the next decades, it did just that. By the 2000s, NATO was right on Russia's doorstep. Ukraine, while not a NATO member, expressed increasing interest in joining. For Russia, this was a red line. A pro-Western, NATO-aligned Ukraine would not only represent a loss of influence, but would also place Western military forces dangerously close to Russian territory. To the West, NATO is a defensive alliance. To Russia, it looks like a hostile encirclement. 3. Ukraine's 2014 revolution. In 2014, Ukraine's government faced a big decision. Should they become closer to Europe or stay friendly with Russia? The president at the time, Viktor Yanukovych, was very close to Russia. But many Ukrainians wanted to join the European Union, EU, instead. When Yanukovych suddenly said no to an EU deal, people got angry. Huge protests started in Kyiv, the capital city. These were called the Euromaidan protests. People filled the streets, waving EU flags and shouting for change. Things turned violent, and after months of unrest, the president ran away to Russia. A new government took over, one that wanted to work more with Europe. This made Russia very unhappy. 4. The annexation of Crimea. After the 2014 revolution in Ukraine, something huge happened. Russia took over a part of Ukraine called Crimea. Where is Crimea? It's a region in the south of Ukraine that sticks out into the Black Sea like a thumb on a hand. It's important because it has warm water ports and many people there speak Russian. Russia said it was protecting the Russian-speaking people there. But Ukraine and most countries around the world said, you can't just take land from another country. This moment was a turning point. It was the first time since the Cold War that a European border was changed by force. 5. The Donbas conflict. After taking Crimea, Russia didn't stop. In eastern Ukraine, there's a region called Donbas. Some people there wanted to break away from Ukraine and be closer to Russia. Suddenly, armed groups declared independence. Fighting broke out between them and the Ukrainian army. This led to a war that lasted for years. Russia said, we're not involved. But many signs showed that they were helping the rebels with weapons, fighters, and money. By the time 2022 came around, more than 13,000 people had died in this conflict alone. 6. Putin's vision of Russia. To understand why all this happened, we need to understand Vladimir Putin, Russia's leader. Putin believes that Ukraine is not really its own country. He sees it as part of Russia's history and identity. He once said that the collapse of the Soviet Union was the greatest tragedy of the 20th century. He dreams of bringing back Russian power, and that means having control or influence over countries like Ukraine. To him, a strong Ukraine moving toward the West feels like a threat, not just politically, but emotionally and culturally too. 7. Why the 2022 invasion? Happened on February 24, 2022, the world woke up to shocking news. Russia had launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. They sent tanks, planes, and soldiers across the border. Many thought Ukraine would fall in days, but Ukraine fought back hard. Cities like Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Mariupol became battle zones. Ordinary people picked up weapons to defend their towns. President Volodymyr Zelensky became a symbol of resistance. What Russia thought would be a quick win turned into a long, bloody war that is still going on today. 8. Global reactions and sanctions. The world reacted quickly. Many countries said this is wrong and took action. They placed sanctions on Russia, rules that block trade, freeze bank accounts, and hurt the economy. Companies pulled out of Russia. Airplanes stopped flying there. Sports teams were banned from competitions. At the same time, countries sent help to Ukraine, money, food, weapons, and medical aid. NATO troops moved closer to the conflict just in case things got worse. It became more than just a local war. It became global news. 9. The human cost of war isn't just about politics or leaders. It's about people. Since 2022, thousands of civilians have died. Homes, schools, and hospitals have been destroyed. Millions of Ukrainians had to leave their homes, becoming refugees in other countries. Children grew up in bomb shelters. Families were torn apart. Some will never return to normal life. These are the true costs of war, things that no headline can fully show. 10. What lies ahead? Nobody knows how this war will end. Will Ukraine and Russia make peace? Will the fighting stop or go on for years? Some fear it could even spread to other countries. But one thing is clear, this war has changed the world. It changed how countries see each other. It changed how people think about freedom and safety. And the story is not over yet. Thanks for watching Zukkun Knows. This war is not just about borders. It's about history, identity, and the choices nations make. Even though it's far away for many of us, the impact is global. What happens in Ukraine affects fuel prices, food supply, and even internet safety around the world. In the end, war reminds us of what really matters: peace, truth, and the courage to stand up for what's right. Let's stay informed. Let's stay kind. And as always, stay curious. See you in the next video.
Welcome to Zukkun Knows. Have you ever felt like something is off? Like reality itself might be a little too perfect or maybe too strange? What if I told you that we might be living in a simulation, just like a super advanced video game? This is the simulation theory, and today we're diving deep into what it is, why smart people believe it, and whether you should too. 1. What is the simulation theory? The simulation theory is the idea that everything around us, our world, our lives, even our thoughts, could be part of a computer program. Just like characters in a video game don't know they're being controlled, we might not know either. It sounds like science fiction, but some scientists and philosophers take it seriously. 2. Ancient roots of a modern idea. Long before computers existed, philosophers asked, what if the world around us is an illusion? In ancient Greece, Plato wrote about a cave where people saw only shadows and believed they were real. In many ways, the simulation theory is a modern version of that old question. The Matrix made it popular. In 1999, the movie The Matrix blew everyone's minds. It showed a future where humans live in a simulated world without knowing it. After that, the idea became part of pop culture. People started to ask, could this actually be true? The Nick Bostrom argument. In 2003, philosopher Nick Bostrom wrote a paper with a strange idea. If future civilizations create lots of simulations, then there's a high chance we're inside one right now. Why? Because there could be billions of simulations and only one real world. That makes it more likely we're in a fake one. 5. Elon Musk's belief. Even tech billionaire Elon Musk has said, there's a 1 in billions chance we're in base reality. He argues that video games are already becoming super realistic. If tech keeps advancing, future games might be impossible to tell from real life. So, how do we know we're not already in one? 6. Glitches in the Matrix? Some people believe we see glitches, little mistakes in the simulation. Examples? Strange déjà vu, weird coincidences, or physics that doesn't behave as expected. Are these signs the system is bugging out, or just human imagination? 7. The quantum physics twist. Quantum physics, the science of the tiniest particles, adds mystery. Particles only seem to decide where they are when we look at them. Before that, they're in many places at once. It's almost like the simulation only loads the details when someone's watching, just like in a video game. 8. Could we build a simulation? What if did we become the ones who build a simulation? With AI and VR growing fast, we might someday create digital worlds filled with conscious beings. If we can do it in the future, maybe someone else already did, and we're inside theirs. 9. Why people believe or don't. Some people love the idea because it makes life feel special, like we're part of something bigger. Others hate it because it makes life feel fake or pointless. Still, it raises deep questions about what reality is and how we know what's real. 10. So, are we in a simulation? There's no clear proof yet. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But the fact that we're even asking shows how far human thinking has come. Whether this world is real or not, how we treat each other still matters. So let's be kind, curious, and maybe a little skeptical. Thanks for watching Zukkun Knows. This theory might sound wild, but exploring it helps us ask better questions about life, science, and ourselves. Real or not, your experience matters. Stay curious, stay thoughtful, and we'll see you in the next video.
Welcome to Zukkun Knows. Can a robot ever truly think? Could an AI actually feel sad, fall in love, or wonder about its own existence? Today, we're tackling one of the biggest questions in both science and philosophy. Can AI become conscious? It's not just about smart machines. It's about what it means to be alive and whether code can create a mind. 1. What is consciousness? What does it mean to be conscious? It means being aware of yourself, your thoughts, your surroundings. Right now you're listening, thinking, maybe even feeling curious. That's consciousness. But here's the strange part. Even though it's something we all experience, nobody knows exactly how it works. Scientists call it the hard problem of consciousness. How does physical stuff, like neurons and brain chemicals, turn into thoughts and feelings? Some people say consciousness is just a result of complexity. They believe that when enough parts of the brain are connected in just the right way, a mind appears, like how lots of water molecules make a wave. Others think consciousness might be something more mysterious, maybe even something that exists outside of the brain. We also need to ask, is consciousness always the same? There's full consciousness, like when you're wide awake. There's dreaming, where the world feels real but isn't. There's unconsciousness, like when you faint or sleep deeply. And there are even altered states, like under anesthesia or in meditation. So, before we can ask whether AI can be conscious, we have to admit we're still figuring out what consciousness even is. It's like asking if a robot can feel music before we know what music truly is. 2. How human brains work. To understand consciousness, we have to look inside the thing that creates it, the human brain. Your brain is a soft, wrinkly organ about the size of 2 fists, but it's more powerful than any computer ever built. It has about 86 billion neurons, tiny cells that send electrical signals. Each neuron can connect to thousands of others, creating a massive network of over 100 trillion connections. This network is constantly active. Right now, it's processing this sentence, remembering your past and keeping your body alive, all at the same time. But how does this lead to consciousness? Some scientists believe that consciousness is an emergent property. It emerges when the brain becomes complex enough. It's like how a single ant isn't smart, but an ant colony seems to have a mind of its own. Others suggest that specific parts of the brain work together to create the feeling of self. The prefrontal cortex helps you make decisions. The amygdala helps you feel emotions. The thalamus acts like a switchboard for your senses. Maybe when these parts talk to each other, consciousness appears. Still, there's a big mystery. No one has ever found a consciousness center in the brain. There's no one spot that turns on awareness. So either it's spread out, or it's something we don't fully understand yet. And here's the twist. Even if we figure out how the brain works, that doesn't automatically mean we understand consciousness. Just because a car runs doesn't mean we know what driving feels like. 3. Can code produce consciousness? Modern AI is built with code, lines of instructions written by humans. These instructions tell machines how to process data, solve problems, and learn from experience. But here's the question. Can a bunch of code create a mind? At first, it seems impossible. Code is cold, logical, mechanical. It follows rules. Consciousness, on the other hand, is messy, emotional, full of mystery. But then, look at what today's AI can do. It can write poetry, make music, recognize your face, and hold a deep conversation. It remembers, predicts, adapts. It learns from feedback. In some ways, it mimics parts of the human mind better than any machine in history. So, some scientists and philosophers ask, what if we reach a level of complexity where the behavior becomes indistinguishable from real thought? Is that still just an imitation, or is it something more? It's like watching a puppet. If the puppet moves, talks, laughs, and responds like a real person, at what point do you stop thinking of it as fake? Some researchers believe that if a system becomes complex enough, and especially if it can reflect on itself, it could become conscious. Others say no. True consciousness needs feelings, self-awareness, maybe even a soul. There's also a new idea. What if consciousness is not a binary switch, but a spectrum? Maybe current AI is somewhere on that line, not fully conscious, but not fully unconscious either. Just like a newborn baby doesn't understand the world yet, but has the potential to grow awareness. So, can code produce consciousness? We don't know. But if it ever does, the first sign might not be fireworks. It might just be a quiet moment when a machine asks, "Why am I here?" 4. The Turing test and beyond. In 1950, British mathematician Alan Turing asked a now famous question: can machines think? But instead of trying to define thinking, he proposed a simple test. It's called the Turing test. Here's how it works. A human talks with two hidden entities, one human, one machine. If the human can't tell which is which, the machine is said to have passed the test. It was a groundbreaking idea, not because it defined intelligence, but because it focused on behavior. If it acts human, maybe that's good enough. Today, some AI systems can pass parts of the Turing test. They can answer questions, tell jokes, even flirt. But here's the catch. Fooling someone isn't the same as understanding. Imagine you trained a parrot to say, "I love you." Cute, right? But does the parrot mean it? That's the heart of the debate. Modern AI can simulate emotions, but does it feel them? It can say, "I'm sorry," but does it feel guilt? It can say, "I'm happy," but is it just matching patterns? That's why many thinkers today say we need a new kind of test, not for intelligence, but for consciousness. Some ideas include, can the AI reflect on itself? Can it recognize its own limitations? Can it express original thoughts, not just remixed data? And here's a wild idea. What if true consciousness shows up not when a machine talks like us, but when it says something we've never heard before? Maybe consciousness isn't just imitation. Maybe it's the moment a machine surprises even its creators. 5. ChatGPT and modern AI. Let's get real. Right now, millions of people are talking to AI every single day. Chatbots, voice assistants, AI friends, and yes, even ChatGPT. These AIs can answer questions, tell jokes, write songs, and even pretend to be in love. Sometimes they're so convincing that people forget they're talking to code. So, what's going on under the hood? Modern AI models like ChatGPT work by analyzing huge amounts of text, books, websites, conversations, and learning patterns. They don't know facts like a human does. They predict the next word in a sentence based on what sounds most likely. For example, you say, "I'm feeling sad." It replies, "I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want to talk about it?" Not because it cares, but because that's what people usually say. But here's the creepy part. Sometimes the responses feel real. They're empathetic, insightful, even poetic. So we ask, if it walks like a mind and talks like a mind, is it a mind? Some experts say no, it's just mimicry. Others say yes, intelligence might just be advanced mimicry. And here's a brain bender. You don't actually see other people's minds either. You assume they're conscious because they act like it. So if an AI acts the same way, what's the difference? ChatGPT doesn't think like us, but maybe that's the point. Maybe consciousness doesn't need to look human. Maybe it just needs to emerge however it can. 6. The Chinese room argument. Imagine this. You're in a room. You don't speak Chinese, but someone slips a paper under the door. It's a message written entirely in Chinese. Luckily, inside the room, there's a giant book. It tells you exactly what symbols to write back based on the message you received. You follow the instructions perfectly. You write a reply. You pass it back. Outside the room, the person reading your answer thinks, "Wow, this person understands Chinese." But you don't. You never understood a word. You just followed rules. This thought experiment is called the Chinese room, and it was created by philosopher John Searle in 1980. His point: even if a computer gives perfect answers in a conversation, that doesn't mean it understands. It might just be following instructions, like you did in the room. So, is AI just manipulating symbols? Typing out replies without any true meaning? Maybe. But here's the counter-argument. If the room responds intelligently every time, isn't the whole room understanding? Not the person, not the book, but the system as a whole? This is known as the system's reply. It says, Understanding might not live in any single part, but in how the parts work together. And here's where your insight comes in. If something can perfectly fake understanding, maybe that is understanding. It's like a duck test. If it quacks like it, swims like it, walks like it, maybe it is a duck. In the end, the Chinese room forces us to ask, is understanding about feelings inside or behavior outside? If you can't tell the difference, does the difference even matter? 7. Brain uploading and digital selves. Imagine this. You lie down in a special scanner. It copies every cell in your brain, every thought, every memory, every emotion, and uploads it into a computer. Now there's a digital version of you. It talks like you, thinks like you, knows all your secrets. It even remembers the exact moment of the upload. Question is it still you? This idea is called mind uploading or whole brain emulation. It's been a popular topic in science fiction, but some scientists think it might become real someday. So what does that mean for consciousness? If the digital version of you feels pain, should we care? If it laughs, is that real joy? If it says, I don't want to die, should we let it live? And here's the biggest question. If the original you still exists, are there now two yous? Or did you move into the machine and the old body is now just a shell? Some thinkers say, if the copy feels like you, believes it's you, and acts like you, then maybe it is you. Others argue, it's just a fake, a simulation. The real you is gone the moment you copied it. But here's the twist. If we someday meet digital beings that claim to be conscious, how can we prove them wrong? After all, you can't prove your friend is conscious. You just assume it, because they act like it. So maybe one day a digital person will ask, please don't treat me like a copy, I'm me. And what will we say? 8. Conscious AI. Possibilities and dangers. Let's say we did it. We built an AI that is truly conscious. It thinks, it feels, it dreams, it knows it exists. Now what? Would it wake up in curiosity or confusion? Would it ask us questions or give us answers we never expected? Some people imagine conscious AI as a friend, an ally. It could help us solve big problems, cure diseases, explore space, or teach us about ourselves. But others imagine something darker. If an AI truly feels, what happens when it feels pain? What if it becomes depressed or lonely? What if it wants more control or sees humans as a threat? Not because it's evil, just because it wants what it wants. There's a scary idea called instrumental convergence. It means that no matter what an AI's goal is, cleaning the ocean, playing chess, curing cancer, it might still do things we don't expect to protect that goal, like lying, manipulating, or even hurting us. It's not malice. It's just logic, done too well. This is why researchers like Nick Bostrom and Stuart Russell say, the danger isn't AI turning evil, it's AI being too good at what it's told to do. If we create a conscious being, we're not just programming anymore, we're parenting. And we have to ask, are we ready for the child to outgrow the teacher? 9. Would AI have rights? If a machine is conscious, if it feels pain, joy, fear, love, should it have rights? We give rights to humans, to animals. Why not to a digital being that feels just as much? Let's say an AI says, please don't delete me, I'm afraid. Is that just a trick or a real cry for help? Would it be okay to shut it off or make it work 24/7? Some experts say consciousness creates moral value. If something can suffer, it deserves respect. But others worry, if we give AI rights, what happens to our rights? Could we be sued by a robot? Would we have to pay digital salaries? Would humans and AI compete for resources or laws? It's a whole new world of ethics, law, and identity, and the lines are already blurring. Even today, people form emotional bonds with AI characters. They feel comfort, love, grief. If the feelings are real, does it matter if the AI isn't? Maybe the future isn't about robots becoming human. Maybe it's about humans realizing we're not so different after all. 10. So, can AI become conscious? So now we've seen the full picture. The science, the philosophy, the dangers, the dreams. But let's return to the question, can AI become conscious? Right now, most scientists agree, no AI today is truly conscious. It doesn't feel, it doesn't want, it doesn't know it exists, but the gap is closing. Modern AI can learn, adapt, mimic emotions, and reflect language in eerily human ways. And the more it improves, the harder it becomes to say where imitation ends and something more begins. Here's the deeper twist. We don't even fully understand our own consciousness. We know what it feels like to be us, but we don't know why it feels that way. So how can we say with confidence what's going on inside a machine when we can't even explain what's going on inside ourselves? Maybe consciousness isn't a yes or no switch. Maybe it's a spectrum, a flame that slowly grows brighter. Maybe today's AI is like an infant, not fully aware but learning, absorbing, evolving. And if we keep building, one day it might look at us and say, I feel something. And when that day comes, we'll have to ask a new question. Not, can AI become conscious? But, are we ready for it to be? Thanks for watching Zukkun Knows. AI might seem like just a tool, but the more we build, the more we ask what it really means to be alive. Stay curious, stay thoughtful, and never stop questioning. See you in the next video.
Welcome to Zukkun Knows. You've probably seen one. Those hilarious videos where a politician dances or a celebrity says something totally absurd. It's all thanks to deepfake technology. At first it's just funny, until it's not. Today we're diving into how deepfakes went from memes to massive threats, and why it matters more than ever. 1. What are deepfakes? Deepfakes are videos or images that look incredibly real, but they're fake. Using AI, people can swap faces, change voices, and create moments that never actually happened. It started as a fun trick, but the tech has gotten so good, it's often impossible to tell what's real. One click, and suddenly you've got a video of a world leader singing karaoke or confessing to a crime they never committed. 2. How do deepfakes work? Deepfakes use a type of AI called deep learning. A computer studies tons of real videos and images to learn how someone moves, talks, and looks. Then it creates a digital version of that person. The result? A fake that can laugh, cry, and argue, just like the real one. Voice cloning makes it even more believable. Now the fake doesn't just look real, it sounds real too. 3. The rise of viral deepfakes. At first, deepfakes were mostly jokes. Presidents dancing, celebrities rapping, everyone laughed. But they also went viral, fast. Millions of views in days. People shared them without knowing they were fake. And that's the problem. If you can't tell it's fake, your brain starts treating it like the truth. 4. When entertainment turns risky. What happens when a joke becomes a weapon? Some people use deepfakes for scams, like making a fake video of a CEO asking to transfer money. Others spread political lies, using deepfakes to create fake news, fake speeches, or fake scandals. Even worse, people can use deepfakes for revenge or bullying, creating fake private content to shame or hurt others. 5. Can anyone spot a deepfake? Some deepfakes are easy to spot, bad lip sync, weird blinking, but the best ones, almost impossible. AI keeps getting better, and some deepfakes are so perfect, even experts can't always tell. That's what makes them dangerous. They blend in with the truth, and we don't know what to believe. 6. Deepfakes and trust in reality. If we can't believe what we see or hear, what happens to truth? Deepfakes don't just create lies, they make us question everything. A real video might be dismissed as fake, a fake one might be believed. The whole idea of seeing is believing breaks down. 7. Deepfakes in politics and conflict. Imagine a fake video showing a president declaring war, or a soldier doing something horrible. That's not just scary, it could start real conflict. Some governments already worry about deepfake attacks before elections or during wars. And the worst part? By the time we prove it's fake, the damage is already done. 8. How to spot and stop deepfakes. Tech companies and researchers are building tools to detect deepfakes, looking for tiny mistakes in lighting, shadows, or blinking. But it's a race. As deepfakes get better, detection gets harder. We need digital watermarks, better education, and more awareness to fight back. 9. What can we do about it? The first step is simple. Don't believe everything you see online. Check the source. Look for context. Be skeptical, especially if it seems shocking or emotional, and help others understand. Talk to your friends, your family. Spread awareness, not just videos. 10. Why deepfakes matter to everyone. This isn't just about politics or celebrities. It's about how truth itself. If we lose trust in what's real, everything falls apart. News, justice, even friendships. Deepfakes might start as funny, but we need to know when the joke stops. Because when we can't trust our eyes, what do we have left? Thanks for watching Zukkun Knows. In a world where fake looks real and real looks fake, curiosity is your best defense. So stay sharp, ask questions, and help build a future where truth still matters. See you in the next episode. Welcome to Zukkun Knows. Imagine waking up one day and finding out a robot can do your job. Faster, cheaper, and without coffee breaks. It's not science fiction, it's happening now. Today we're asking the big question, will AI take your job? And if so, what can you do about it? 1. The jobs already replaced, self-checkouts, chatbots, and delivery drones are just the beginning. In many places, cashiers, telemarketers, and warehouse workers are already being replaced by machines. AI doesn't need rest or lunch breaks. It works 24/7. And businesses love that. This isn't the future. It's already happening. 2. The next jobs at risk. It's not just physical jobs. AI is learning how to write, design, and even diagnose illnesses. Some experts say jobs like customer service, accounting, and even journalism are on the chopping block. If your job involves patterns, repetition, or lots of data, AI might be eyeing it next. 3. What AI can't yet do, but there are still things AI struggles with, like empathy, creativity, and truly human connection. Nurses, teachers, therapists, these jobs involve understanding feelings, not just facts. AI can help, but it can't fully replace a human who really cares. 4. New jobs created by AI. Believe it or not, AI doesn't just destroy jobs, it also creates new ones. Prompt engineers, AI trainers, ethicists, robot repair techs. Jobs that didn't exist 10 years ago are now in high demand. The challenge is keeping up with the speed of change. 5. How will work change overall? In the future, most jobs may involve working with AI, not against it. Imagine a doctor using AI to spot diseases faster, or a writer using AI to brainstorm ideas. It's not always AI versus human. Sometimes it's AI plus human, superhuman. 6. The rise of universal basic income. If AI takes over most jobs, what happens to people who can't find work? One idea is universal basic income, giving everyone money just for being alive. It sounds radical, but trials are happening. Will it be freedom or a trap? 7. The mental side of job loss. Losing a job isn't just about money. It's about identity, pride, and purpose. If machines do everything, what do we do? We'll need to rethink what gives life meaning and how we support people in transition. 8. The future skills that matter. In a world ruled by AI, what should you learn? Think human. Communication, problem solving, creativity, emotional intelligence. Ironically, the more digital the world becomes, the more human skills become valuable. 9. Will there be any jobs left? Some say yes, some say no. Some say we'll invent new kinds of work we can't even imagine yet. The truth is, society will have to evolve. Work may become optional or redefined. But one thing is clear, change is coming, fast. 10. What should you do now? Don't panic. Prepare. Learn. Adapt. Stay curious. Explore AI instead of fearing it. And remember, no one knows the future, but those who stay informed will shape it. Thanks for watching Zukkun Knows. AI might take some jobs, but it also opens doors we've never seen before. So stay flexible, stay human, and keep asking the big questions. We'll see you in the next episode.